Imagine stepping into like a tropical garden, right? And there's this fruit hanging there, and it's kind of hard to describe.
Hmm.
People call it all sorts of things, like the pineapple sugar apple over in Taiwan, or they say it tastes, well, almost like a pina colada mixed with vanilla.
That's a pretty intriguing description.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this really unique fruit, the Atemoya. It's sort of a natural wonder, but also kind of engineered, you know?
Yeah, it's a fascinating mix of nature and human touch.
So our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack where the Atemoy comes from, look at what makes it tick, its characteristics, and then we're going to totally switch gears.
Okay.
You're going to explore how incredibly versatile it is in the kitchen. We're calling it high-performance flavor engineering.
I like the sound of that. High
Uh-huh.
performance.
Yeah. And look, we've got some solid sources here. There's a big overview from Wikipedia on the Atemoy itself, and then this really cool metaphor-heavy guide called Atemoya. High-speed flavor engineering for the cooking side.
Got it. Sounds like a good foundation.
So if you want to get the lowdown on this exotic fruit, not just know about it, but like really get how to unlock its potential in your own cooking, you're definitely in the right place.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack this thing. Time to dive into the world of Atemoya.
Excellent choice. The Atemoya, it's genuinely fascinating because it really shows both natural processes and deliberate human effort.
Mm.
You know, horticulture at its best, almost.
yeah.
It gives you this really distinct taste and feel, and it all comes from a very specific family tree, which I think we should explore.
Absolutely. Let's start right there with its identity. The name itself, a known ex Atemoya, kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
That little X in the middle is the clue.
Exactly. It shouts hybrid right off the bat. It tells you it's a mix, a genetic blend of two other tropical fruits from the Americas. The sugar apple, Annona squamosa, and chirimoya, Annona chirimoya. So yeah, literally a fusion.
That's spot on. It's not some species that just popped up on its own. It's this, well, brilliant combination.
Hmm.
And this hybridization, whether it happens naturally or with a guiding hand, it's one of nature's really powerful tools for creating something new,
Mm.
often taking the best bits from both parents. In this case, you get the sugar apple's intense sweetness and aroma blended with the cherimoya's richer, maybe slightly tannier flavor, and importantly, its better ability to handle a bit of cold.
Ah, interesting.
So this genetic marriage, it creates something that's arguably better, greater than the sum of its parts.
And we should probably clear up that common misconception you mentioned earlier, the pineapple sugar apple thing in Taiwan.
Right, the compass.
Yeah, that name sounds like pineapple has to be involved, but
Yeah.
nope, it's not actually a cross with pineapple at all, is it?
Not botanically, no. That name, while it kind of captures that tropical, tangy, sweet vibe, it's purely descriptive, not scientific.
Hmm.
It just goes to show how taste and perception sometimes win out over strict botany and popular names. But knowing the real parents, sugar apple and cherimoya, that's the key to understanding what makes the Atemoya special.
And speaking of popular, this fruit has really gotten around, hasn't it? It's not just stuck in its original home.
Not at all. It's traveled the globe.
And picked up all these different names. You mentioned Taiwan, but in Cuba, it's anon.
Mhm.
Venezuela calls it curamorinon. In Lebanon, it's aknata. And I found this one interesting. Tanzania calls it stafeli dogo, which means mini soursop.
Yeah, isn't that great? Mini soursop.
It really shows how widely it's been accepted, crossing language barriers, cultural barriers.
It really does. And, it makes you think, how does a fruit from one part of the world get adopted so widely, become significant in places far away, even getting new local names?
Yeah, how does that happen?
Well, part of it's got to be its adaptability, and obviously people just really like how it tastes. But it's also about, global trade, people sharing plants and knowledge, and cultures being open to trying new foods. These different names show it's really become part of the local scene.
And it's not just a novelty item in these places. People are actually growing a lot of it. Brazil, for example, had like 1,200 hectares back in 2011.
Which is pretty significant.
But Taiwan, wow, they're the real heavyweight, it seems. In 2020, they had over 2,800 hectares. And almost all of that, like 2,815 hectares, was in just one area, Taitung County.
That is serious business. That level of cultivation tells you it's got real economic importance, and people consistently want to buy it.
For sure.
And the fact that a fruit can leave its homeland and thrive like that elsewhere, it says a lot about its genetic strength, but also about the farmers and horticulturists who figured out how to grow it well in new places. Adapting techniques,
Right.
Market demand drives that kind of widespread adoption, keeps it on our tables, basically.
Okay, so let's get to the fruit itself, the experience, because the Annona family, they really offer something special, don't they?
They absolutely do.
Visually, the Atemoya stands out, usually kind of heart-shaped or roundish, pale green skin. But the skin is a bit delicate, bruises easily, and it's got bumps.
But the bumps aren't uniform.
Right, that's the cool part. It's bumpier up near the stem, which reminds you of the sugar apple parent.
Exactly.
But then it gets smoother down towards the bottom, more like the cherimoya. It's like it's wearing a coat that shows off both sides of the family.
That's a great way to put it.
Uh-huh.
And that visual hint carries through inside, too. The flesh, for
Yeah.
instance. It's not segmented like a sugar apple can sometimes be, kind of stringy.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Instead, it's more like the cherimoya inside.
Yeah.
Really juicy, very smooth, almost custard-like. That texture is a big part of why people love it. Feels luxurious, you know.
Okay, texture sounds amazing, but the flavor. You said this is the real aha moment.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting.
So what's it like?
Well, you get this initial slight sweetness, but also a little bit of tartness. Nice balance.
Okay.
But then you get this unmistakable note that people consistently describe as being like a pina colada.
Seriously? Like the cocktail?
Kind of, yeah. That tropical, creamy pineapple coconut vibe. And as if that wasn't enough, there are also really clear vanilla notes. That's definitely from the sugar apple side of the family.
Wow. Pina colada meets vanilla. That sounds almost too good to be true for a fruit.
It's an incredible combination, isn't it? That creamy, tropical thing from the pina colada idea mixed with that warm, sweet vanilla. It's like natural flavor engineering at its finest.
Yeah.
If you think about the parents, the sugar apple is known for being super sweet, custardy, very aromatic. The cherimoya brings more complexity, that slight tartness, maybe hints of pineapple or even strawberry sometimes.
Okay.
So the hybrid process seems to have just nailed it, taking the best bits of both and creating this totally unique, super desirable flavor profile. It's basically dessert growing on a tree.
Sounds incredible. Okay, practicalities though. Eating it. You mentioned seeds.
Right. You'll find quite a few black seeds scattered throughout the flesh. They're inedible, actually toxic. So, yeah, you can't just bite into it.
Good to know. So how do you eat it then?
Best way is when it's perfectly ripe.
Mm-hmm.
The flesh gets soft, and you can just cut it in half and scoop it out with a spoon. Chilling it first is really nice, too.
Simple enough. Scoop and enjoy.
Pretty much. That ease, even with the seeds, adds to its appeal. Luxurious taste, minimal fuss once it's ripe. And, thinking about how we got this fruit, its journey from just happening in nature to being deliberately bred. That's a cool story, too.
Yeah, tell us about that. It wasn't just a lucky find.
Well, nature was definitely doing its own thing first. They found natural Atemoya hybrids growing in Venezuela, and also apparently back in the 1930s and 40s, people noticed chance hybrids popping up where sugar apple and cherimoya trees were growing near each other in Palestine.
So the potential was already there.
Exactly. Nature was experimenting. But then humans stepped in to really speed things up and refine it. The first person credited with making a deliberate cross was P.J. Wester.
P.J. Wester, okay.
He was a horticulturist working for the USDA down in Miami. This was back in 1908. And he was the one who came up with the name Atemoya, combining an Old Mexican name for the sugar apple with moya from cherimoya.
Ah, okay, clever. Atemoya.
And the fruits from his crosses showed real promise right away, often better quality than the sugar apple parent.
That's a huge step, going from chance to intentional breeding. And it wasn't just about taste, right? Didn't someone else work on hardiness?
Yes, that was Edward Simmons, also in Miami, around 1917. He cultivated hybrids that were surprisingly tough.
Tough how?
They could survive dips in temperature down to about 26.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly -3 Celsius. That's pretty cold for a tropical fruit.
Wow,
And that hardiness clearly came from the cherimoya side, which handles cooler temps better than the sugar apple. That was huge because it meant you could potentially grow Atemoyas in places beyond the purely tropical zones. Subtropical areas opened up.
That makes a big difference for growers, but I hear there's a catch with getting the fruit to grow in the first place, something about the flowers.
Ah, yes, the pollination challenge. Atemoyas, like a lot of their Annona relatives, have what are called protogynous hermaphroditic flowers.
Whoa, okay. Proto what? Break that down for us.
Yeah, it sounds complicated. Protogynous just means the female parts of the flower mature before the male parts. Hermaphroditic means each flower has both male and female parts.
Okay, so female first, then male.
Exactly. But they mature at different times within the same flower. Think of it like the flower opens for business as a female, ready to receive pollen, usually in the afternoon for a couple of hours, say 2 to 4 p.m.
Right.
Then the next afternoon, maybe between 3 and 5 p.m., that same flower switches roles and starts shedding its own pollen, becoming male.
So it can't pollinate itself easily because the timing is off?
Precisely. Self-pollination is pretty rare because of that time lag, which means if you want a reliable crop of good-sized, well-shaped fruits, especially in a commercial orchard,
You need to step in.
you usually need hand pollination.
Yeah.
Yep. Growers have to collect pollen from flowers in their male stage one afternoon, store it carefully, and then brush it onto the receptive female stage flowers the next afternoon.
Wow, that's labor intensive.
It is. Without it, you often get poor fruit set or misshapen fruits because not enough pollination happened naturally. So it really underscores that engineering aspect of growing them successfully.
So what does this all mean? It's this cool mix of like nature's potential and human smarts in horticulture, figuring out how to get the best fruit, adapting it.
Exactly. And that leads to specific varieties or cultivars that have been bred for peak performance, you could say, tailored for certain conditions or preferences.
Okay, like what? Are there examples?
Definitely. Let's talk about two well-known ones. First, there's Gefner. It's an Israeli cultivar, does really well in places like Florida.
Okay, Gefner.
And the big deal with Gefner, especially in Florida, is that it often doesn't need hand pollination.
Oh, that's a huge plus for growers.
A massive advantage.
Yeah.
Less labor, lower costs. It produces good quality fruit, nicely formed, maybe around 450 grams, so decent size.
And the inside, the pulp.
The pulp is white, really juicy, but it's described as quite resistant. Like it holds its shape. A spoon doesn't just sink through easily.
Interesting.
And get that the texture when you chew it is sometimes described as being like chewing gum.
Chewing gum in a fruit. That's wild.
Isn't it? A unique texture.
Yeah.
And it's super sweet. Measures around 25 degrees Brix.
Okay, 25 Brix. What does that mean in simple terms? High sugar.
Very high sugar, yeah. Brix measures the percentage of soluble solids, mostly sugar, in the juice. So 25 Brix means it's about 25% sugar by weight. Incredibly sweet, very dessert-like.
Got it. So Gefner is productive, doesn't need hand pollination in some places, has that unique chewy texture, and is super sweet. Okay, what's the other main one?
The other big one, especially in Brazil, where it's the most cultivated, is Thompson.
Thompson.
Thompson is seen as more of a balanced mix, characteristics between the sugar apple and Atemoya. The skin shows that too, kind of bumpy near the stem, smoother towards the bottom.
Right.
Inside, the pulp is also white, very succulent, tender. But its consistency is described as distinctly creamy. Unlike Gefner, a spoon does pass through easily when you eat it.
Ah, so a totally different texture experience, creamy versus chewy.
Exactly. But still very sweet, also around 25 Brix. Thompson is known for being productive, the trees are vigorous, and it has decent tolerance to fungal diseases, which is good for growers.
Sounds like a solid choice, too.
It is. One little quirk is that sometimes Thompson trees produce fruit that looks a lot like another cultivar called Pink's Mammoth, so that can cause a bit of confusion sometimes.
Okay, so you've got these two main types, Gefner with the chew, Thompson with the cream. It really shows how breeders have fine-tuned this fruit, not just for growing it, but for different eating experiences.
That's precisely it. It's optimizing for the whole chain the grower's needs, like disease resistance or pollination ease, and the consumer's preferences for taste and texture.
Like choosing between different models of a luxury car, maybe. Both great, just slightly different rides.
That's a perfect analogy. And it sets us up beautifully for the next part, how we can take this amazing fruit and do some flavor engineering ourselves.
Yes. Let's shift into the kitchen. Because the Atemoya, as amazing as it is just scooped out, it's also, as our source puts it, nature's aerodynamic fusion, a Formula One car engineered for speed and precision when it comes to flavor.
Sticking with the racing theme.
Totally. We're going to explore 8 high-performance preserve techniques. The idea is they take your taste buds from 0 to 60 in seconds, each one tuned for, maximum impact under different racing conditions on your culinary track.
Okay, I'm buckled in. Let's hear about these techniques.
This is where it gets really fun. We're not just making like basic jam here. We're talking culinary engineering. 8 different ways to transform this fruit.
It really emphasizes that deliberate approach, doesn't it?
Right.
Thinking about how to best capture and enhance its natural qualities, texture, flavor, shelf life, how it plays with others.
Exactly. Okay, technique number 1, Atemoya jam. the turbocharged power plant.
Power plant.
This one's all about raw power, concentrated flavor. So for this, you need about 2 cups of fresh Atemoya pulp seeds out, obviously. Then 3/4 of a cup of organic cane sugar, 3 tablespoons of fresh lime juice, a tablespoon of finely grated fresh ginger, half a teaspoon of ground cardamom, and just a pinch of sea salt.
Ginger and cardamom. That's a smart combination with Atemoya.
Why?
Well, both ginger and cardamom have that warming, slightly spicy, aromatic quality that really complements the Atemoya's tropical sweetness, that pina colada and vanilla thing. Ginger gives it a nice little thing. Cardamom adds a floral warmth. It just makes the flavor much more complex and interesting than the fruit alone.
And the lime juice.
That's key, too. Not just for a bit of tartness, but the acid helps the pectin in the fruit set properly, which you need for jam.
Right, makes sense. Okay, so the engineering steps for this jam. First is initial maceration, the engine warm-up. You just mix the pulp and sugar, let it sit for maybe 10 minutes. This helps the sugar start dissolving and pulls juice from the fruit.
Standard jam making first step.
Then the simmering phase, the acceleration. You cook it over medium heat, stirring pretty consistently for about 15 minutes. The fruit breaks down, the sugar melts, and starts to thicken it up into that jammy texture.
Getting that concentration.
Exactly. Then comes the flavor boost, the nitrous. You stir in the lime juice, grated ginger, and cardamom. Let that bubble away for another 5 minutes so the flavors really meld and pop.
Integrating those key flavor notes.
And finally, cool down and set. Pour the hot jam into sterilized jars. Let it cool for about half an hour. That's when it sets up properly into this thick, spreadable, champion-level jam. You get about 235 calories per serving, lots of vitamin C, fruit enzymes.
Sounds delicious.
Yep.
And how would you use this power plant jam?
The pit stop application. Spread it thick on some really good toast, layer it in pastries, or use it as a filling for thumbprint cookies. High-energy stuff.
That slow cooking really concentrates the Atemoya flavor, deepens it beyond the fresh fruit, makes it very versatile.
Okay, moving on. Technique 2, Atemoya jelly. Precision aerodynamics.
Ooh, jelly. So clarity is key here.
Totally. This is all about purity, clarity, and getting that perfect jelly structure. For this, you need 3 cups of pure Atemoya juice, which you get from straining about 4 cups of pulp, half a cup of wildflower honey, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, 1 packet of powdered pectin, and just a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Right, so the straining is crucial. You need that perfectly clear juice, no pulp particles, for a true jelly. And the pectin provides the structure. The carbon fiber chaffee, as the course calls it.
Exactly. Honey instead of sugar here, maybe for a lighter flavor and better clarity?
Could be. Honey can add subtle floral notes too, and sometimes gives a slightly softer set than sugar. Lemon juice, again, for acidity and pectin activation.
So the aerodynamic design process, step 1 is juice extraction, the wind tunnel testing. Strain that pulp really well, maybe 25 minutes, to get pure, clear juice. No drag from solids allowed.
Got to get it clear.
Step 2, base preparation, chassis tuning. Combine that clear juice with the honey. This is your lightweight base. Step 3, gelling and setting, performance calibration. Bring that juice honey mix to a boil. Whisk in the pectin according to package directions. This is where it transforms, gets that structural integrity, that perfect gel.
The crucial setting stage.
Then, quality check, tech inspection. Let it set up in sterilized jars about 45 minutes. The result? Crystal clear jelly, sustained sweetness, very precise flavor, lets the pure Atemoya essence shine. About 215 calories a serving.
Sounds elegant. And the applications?
Track performance ideas. Use it as a super high gloss glaze on tarts or cakes. Make cool transparent layers and trifles, racing stripes. Or pair it with sharp cheeses. Very classy.
It's a nice contrast to the jam, isn't it? Shows how technique can highlight different aspects. The jam's richness versus the jelly's clarity and pure flavor.
Definitely. Okay, next up, Atemoya conserve, multi-engine configuration.
Conserve. So this means chunks of fruit and maybe other things mixed in.
Exactly. This is about complexity, different textures, a multi-dimensional experience. Ingredients are 1.5 cups of chunked Atemoya pulp, half a cup of diced dried mango, a 1/3 cup of roughly chopped macadamia nuts,
Ooh, nuts.
a 1/4 cup of minced crystallized ginger, 1/4 cup of toasted coconut flakes, half a cup of turbinado sugar, and 2 tablespoons of passion fruit juice.
Wow, that's a party in a jar. Dried mango, macadamias, crystallized ginger, coconut, passion fruit. This is all about combining different textures and flavors, right? Chewy, crunchy, spicy, tropical.
Totally. Unlike jam or jelly, a conserve celebrates those distinct pieces.
And the passion fruit juice adds a nice bright tanginess. to cut through all that sweetness and richness. It really lifts everything.
So the multi-engine setup. First, component assembly, the team assembly. Each ingredient brings its own skill, Atemoya base, mango thrust, nut crunch, you get the idea.
Assembling the flavor team.
Then, harmonious simmering, synchronized performance. Cook it all together over controlled heat for about 20 minutes. You want the flavors to meld but keep the individual components distinct.
Maintaining that texture and balance.
Finally, flavor layering, power distribution. The crystallized ginger and coconut give it little bursts of flavor, and the passion fruit juice is like the premium racing fuel bringing it all together. The result is complex, lots of things happening in harmony. About 285 calories, plus some healthy fats from the nuts.
Sounds fantastic. What are the serving suggestions?
For the winner's circle, serve it with really good crackers and maybe some aged cheese. Use it like a gourmet chutney with grilled chicken or pork, or feature it in parfaits where you can actually see all the different bits.
That really shows how the Atemoya can be part of a bigger picture, playing well with lots of other strong flavors and textures. Very versatile.
Okay, next technique. Atemoya fruit butter. Smooth operator engine.
Fruit butter. So this is going to be smooth and dense, right?
Ultra smooth, deep, complex flavor. Ingredients. 3 cups of Atemoya pulp, 1/4 cup of agave nectar, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon ground allspice, and 2 tablespoons of fresh orange juice.
The classic warm spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice. And slow cooking is key for fruit butter, isn't it?
That's the main thing here. The slow cooking breaks everything down completely, caramelizes the sugars naturally, and really concentrates the flavor into something rich and mellow, much deeper than a quick jam.
And using agave nectar instead of sugar might contribute to that smoothness too, less likely to crystallize. The orange juice adds brightness.
So the precision tuning starts with initial reduction, the engine rebuild. You slow cook the pulp for a good while, maybe 45 minutes, until it's totally broken down, develops deep flavors.
Patience required.
Then smooth pureeing, smooth operation. You blend the cooked pulp until it's perfectly velvety, then put it back on low heat.
Getting that signature texture.
Step 3, spice integration, performance additives. Gradually stir in the cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and the orange juice. Let it simmer gently for maybe another 20 minutes so those spice flavors fully infuse. The final product is super smooth, deep, complex, about 190 calories per serving.
Sounds luxurious. How do you use it?
Track applications. Spread it on warm scones or muffins, stir it into oatmeal like an engine lubricant, or even use it as a glaze or coating for pork tenderloin. That sweet, spicy thing works well with pork.
It really transforms the Atemoya into something comforting yet sophisticated. Shows how time and technique can bring out different dimensions.
All right, changing pace again. Technique 5. Atemoya Compo, Sprint Car Special.
Sprint car. So this one's quick, fresh.
Exactly. Immediate, fresh, high-speed performance, keeping the fruit vibrant. Ingredients. 2 cups of chunked Atemoya pulp, 1/2 cup of white wine, 3 tablespoons of raw honey, 1 vanilla bean split, and scrape 2 sprigs of fresh mint, and a tablespoon of fresh lime juice.
Compote. Minimal cooking time is the goal here, right? To preserve that fresh fruit flavor and those delicate Atemoya aromatics.
Spot on. You don't want to cook out those pina colada and vanilla notes.
And the white wine adds a nice acidity and sophistication. Vanilla bean for warmth. Mint for that cool freshness.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really bright combination.
The sprint configuration. First, rapid start, quick start protocol. Combine everything in a wide pan. Wider pan means faster heating and evaporation.
Good tip.
Second, fast cooking. High-speed maneuvering. Cook it quickly over medium-high heat, stirring gently for only about 12 minutes. Just enough to soften the fruit slightly and meld the flavors.
Keep it moving. Keep it fast.
Third, flavor refinement. Precision steering. Stir in the mint maybe for the last 3 minutes. The wine and vanilla provide the depth. Mint adds the finishing cool touch.
Nice.
Finally, serve warm, the cool down lap. Let it rest off the heat for maybe 15 minutes, then serve it warm to capture that fresh from the track excitement. It's all about immediate performance, about 175 calories.
Sounds perfect for spooning over things.
Totally. Victory lane applications. Spoon it over vanilla ice cream, layer it with Greek yogurt for breakfast, or use it as a topping for cheesecake. Quick, fresh, vibrant.
It's a great example of minimal intervention, letting the fruit's natural character really shine through. A different kind of flavor engineering focusing on speed and freshness.
Okay, now for something completely different. Atemoya chutney. Rallycross adventure.
Chutney. So we're going savory now. Sweet and spicy.
All-terrain. Sweet, spicy, tangy. Handles diverse conditions. Ingredients. 2 cups diced Atemoya pulp, 1 medium diced red onion, quarter cup golden raisins, quarter cup apple cider vinegar, quarter cup brown sugar, tablespoon minced fresh ginger, teaspoon curry powder, half teaspoon ground coriander, quarter teaspoon red pepper flakes, and quarter teaspoon ground cinnamon.
Wow, that's a complex spice blend. Curry powder, coriander, cinnamon, red pepper flakes, ginger. This really pushes the Atemoya into savory
And
territory.
then apple cider vinegar is key, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The vinegar provides the tanginess that balances the sweetness from the fruit, raisins, and brown sugar. It creates that essential sweet-sour backbone that defines a good chutney, and it helps all those spices pop. The onion adds a savory base, raisins give chewiness. It's a real flavor adventure.
The all-terrain performance steps.
Yeah.
First, aromatic base, off-road setup. Maybe toast the whole spices briefly before grinding, or just bloom the ground spices in a little oil for about 10 minutes to wake them up. Builds the foundation.
Releases those aromatic oils. Good step.
Then, flavor development. Variable conditions. Sauté the onion first, then add the diced Atemoya, raisins, ginger, and all the spices. Cook that for maybe 15 minutes, letting the flavors start to mingle. Navigating sweet and savory.
Building layers.
Finally, sweet-sour balance, the endurance challenge. Add the apple cider vinegar and brown sugar. Simmer it gently for about 25 minutes, maybe longer, until it thickens and the flavors meld into that perfect chutney consistency. This vinegar-sugar combo is the suspension system handling the sweet-sour terrain.
Needs that simmering time to meld and thicken.
The finished chutney should handle any serving situation.
Yeah.
About 205 calories per serving, packed with that all-terrain spice profile.
Sounds incredibly versatile. What kind of applications?
Multi-surface applications.
Yeah.
Great alongside Indian curries, perfect on a cheese board with strong cheeses, or serve it with grilled lamb or pork. Handles it all.
This really shows the Atemoya's range, doesn't it? Moving way beyond dessert into a complex savory condiment. Very cool.
Okay, 2 more. Technique 7, Atemoya curd. Formula 1 precision.
Curd. So smooth, rich, tangy, like lemon curd, but with Atemoya.
Exactly. Luxury, silky texture, championship smoothness. Ingredients: 1 cup of smooth Atemoya puree, 3 large egg yolks, quarter cup unsalted butter, 1/3 cup superfine sugar, 2 tablespoons fresh lime juice, and a teaspoon of lime zest.
Curd is all about technique. It's delicate. That balance of egg yolks, sugar, acid, and butter, cook gently.
Yeah, temperature controls everything, right? You can't scramble the eggs.
Precisely. Gentle heat, constant whisking.
Yeah.
And the butter, added at the end off the heat, is what gives it that incredible richness and silken texture through emulsification. The lime juice is crucial too, provides the necessary tartness to balance the richness and the fruit's sweetness. Zest for aroma.
So the Formula 1 engineering, step 1, puree perfection, precision manufacturing. Make sure your Atemoya puree is perfectly smooth. Maybe sieve it, takes about 15 minutes of prep.
That'd be smooth.
Step 2, egg yolk emulsion, high-tech assembly. Whisk the egg yolks and superfine sugar together until pale and thick, maybe 10 minutes. This is your base racing fuel.
Creating that stable emulsion base.
Step 3, controlled cooking, temperature management. Gently heat the Atemoya puree. Then slowly whisk the warm puree into the egg yolk mixture. Return it all to very gentle heat. Maybe a double boiler is safest, and whisk constantly for about 8 minutes until it thickens enough to coat the back of a spoon. Don't let it boil.
The critical thickening stage. Low and slow.
Step 4, butter integration, performance integration. Take it off the heat. Whisk in the cold butter a piece at a time until it's all melted and incorporated smoothly, about 5 minutes. Then stir in the lime juice and zest for that bright acceleration. The result should be golden, silky, luxurious. About 240 calories with a good amount of fat from the yolks and butter.
Sounds divine. How would you serve this masterpiece?
Grand Prix applications. Fill pre-baked tart shells for elegant desserts, layer it in glass parfait with whipped cream or fruit, or just serve it as a luscious spread for scones or shortbread. Pure luxury.
It really elevates the Atemoya into something incredibly refined. That precision technique makes all the difference.
All right, our final technique, number 8. Atemoya shrub. Pit stop hydration.
A shrub. Okay, so this is a drinking vinegar concentrate.
Exactly. Refreshing, balanced, rapid hydration. Ingredients: 2 cups Atemoya pulp, 1 cup granulated sugar, 1 cup rice vinegar, 2 star anise pods, 1 cinnamon stick, And 3 lightly crushed cardamom pods.
Shrubs are fascinating. That vinegar plays a key role, doesn't it? Not just preserving, but balancing sweetness and extracting flavor.
Right. The source mentions it balances the sweetness so it's not cloying, and it helps pull out the flavors from the fruit and the spices, star anise, cinnamon, cardamom, adding that warm, exotic layer.
Rice vinegar is a good choice, too, often milder than other vinegars. Sounds like a really complex, refreshing base.
The hydration system engineering, step 1, fruit maceration, fuel cell preparation. Combine the Atemoya pulp and sugar. Let that sit, covered, at room temp or in the fridge for about 24 hours. The sugar draws out the juice and flavor, creating a rich syrup.
The cold process infusion.
Step 2, syrup and spice infusion, electrolyte balance. Strain the syrup off the pulp press gently to get all the liquid. Combine this syrup with the rice vinegar and the spices, star anise, cinnamon, cardamom, in a saucepan. Gently heat it just until the sugar is fully dissolved. Don't boil it.
Just dissolving, not cooking.
Step 3, flavor integration, cooling system. Let the mixture cool completely, maybe for a couple of hours with the spices still in it. This allows the flavors to infuse and meld.
Letting it all come together.
Step 4, concentrate storage, pit stop ready. Strain out the spices, pour the finished shrub syrup into a clean bottle. It should be bright and clear. Store it in the fridge. A serving, maybe 2 tablespoons mixed with sparkling water, is only about 75 calories.
A little goes a long way. How do you use it?
Trackside service. The classic way is to mix it with sparkling water for a super refreshing drink. You could also use it in cocktails, adding that sweet, tart, spicy complexity, or even drizzle a little over a fruit salad for a bright kick.
It's a really sophisticated option, showing the Atemoya works beautifully in drinks too. That sweet, tart, aromatic balance is key.
So those are our 8 techniques. But wait, there are also some crucial championship maintenance tips for keeping these preserves at their best.
Storage and handling. Important stuff.
Right. First, store most of these jam, jelly, conserve, chutney, shrub, fruit butter, in cool, dark places. Climate control helps maximize shelf life. Sterilized jars are key, of course.
Standard preserving practice.
Second, most of these actually improve with a bit of age, like a well-maintained vintage race car. The flavors can deepen and meld nicely over a few weeks or months.
Interesting point. A little patience pays off.
However, the fresher stuff, the compote and especially the curd, because of the eggs and butter, they need refrigeration and have shorter race seasons. You need to eat those within a week or 2.
Good distinction. Curd is definitely perishable.
And finally, remember to match the application. Choose the right vehicle, the type of preserve for the right track, how you want to serve it. Use the right tool for the job, basically.
That makes perfect sense. It's about understanding the strengths of each preparation.
So what this all means for you, the listener, is that you're not just following recipes, you're becoming a flavor mechanic. Understanding how to optimize, store, and use these amazing creations.
It empowers you to be more creative and effective in the kitchen, understanding the why behind the how.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We've really gone deep today on the Atemoya. We started with its cool story as a hybrid fruit, recognized globally with that unique pina colada vanilla taste.
From its parents, the sugar apple and cherimoya.
Right. And then we explored 8 really different high-performance ways to capture and transform its flavor jam, jelly, conserve, butter, compote, chutney, curds, and shrub, each one a little feat of culinary engineering.
It truly shows how versatile one fruit can be when you apply different techniques and a bit of creativity, harnessing its natural qualities in so many ways.
It really does. It's a great example of the potential hiding in natural ingredients. And, it leaves you with a final thought. If one fruit, the Atemoya, can inspire this whole racing team of preserves, each so different, well, what other everyday ingredients in your own kitchen might be hiding their own championship potential?
That's a great question.
Maybe there's untapped flavor just waiting for you to discover it, to engineer it on your own culinary track. So get out there, explore, experiment. The next amazing flavor adventure is always just a deep dive away.